Please subscribe.
While we frequently take a gander at the customer pattern far from vehicles and into hybrids, individuals need what they need. 10 years prior, the first BMW sports movement roadster, the X6, helped us to remember the 1940s when each American carmaker made a four-entryway fastback. Nobody needs that once more, we thought. At that point the littler BMW X4 tagged along for 2015, and we wanted that these deviations could join the Oldsmobile Series 60 and the Plymouth De Luxe in history's dustbin. But we as of late wound up at the BMW Performance Center, over the street from the carmaker's Spartanburg, South Carolina, get-together planned, getting ready to drive another, second-age X4. Going marked down this late spring, it currently appears to be a standard vehicle. Standardization of the already unimaginable is a frightful power to figure with, in vehicles as in governmental issues. The X4, with the fastback profile that separates it from its square fixed stablemate, the X3, is multiplying more gradually than is the hybrid section on the loose. In the United States, BMW sold more than 40,000 a year ago while hawking just 5,198 X4s. The Mercedes-Benz GLC Roadster is the X4's sole direct simple as a fastback variation of a progressively ordinary minimized SUV, and it also adds just gradual volume to offers of its boxier stage mate. The GLC Roadster may exist simply because Mercedes is constrained to counter every expansion to the BMW lineup in their two-sided round of promoting battleship. However, these two likewise contend with the Porsche Macan, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and the Range Rover Velar, to name yet three that comparatively penetrate the implied utility of hybrids on the raised area of styling. Infants got fastback. Keeping that in mind, BMW has made the X4 prettier. Despite everything it takes after a turtle on stilts, however less naughty one. Riding on a wheelbase extended by 2.1 inches, the 2019 X4 throws a shadow that is either 3.0 or 3.2 inches longer, contingent upon the accurate model, than a year ago's X4. It's additionally around an inch and a half more extensive and a skosh lower. Planners utilize this bigger canvas to render a superior proportioned and less thick-set profile, while the whole back form is better settled into a firm shape. Included length benefits the inside behind the B column. Back seat legroom is up by around an inch, and freight limit extends by 1 cubic foot over a year ago's X4, to 19 cubic feet. Beside the raked rooftop, removing 10 cubic feet of the X3's payload holder abaft the back seat and bringing the back entryway opening down into head bump-on section and area. The inside is everything except indistinguishable to the X3's, which is something to be thankful for. X4 drivers tucked away in the throughout the day agreeable and steady game seats will locate a similar quality materials, rigid board fits, and educational computerized instrument board. The focal iDrive control screen is equivalent in the X3, as well, responsive, instinctive, and graphically present-day. Props to the plan group, at that point, yet the inquiry remains, why pick this over the less exorbitant, increasingly helpful X3? The appropriate response, in trademark BMW design, is that the styling means a sportier driving knowledge. BMW even cases the new shape conveys dynamic upgrades on account of a brought-down focus of gravity, however still higher than a car, and a more extensive back track. These are claims we investigated more than a few hours in the driver's seat arranging the track at the execution focus, cruising adjacent interstates, and rushing over mountain paths in both South and North Carolina, streets that evoke the moonshine and roots of NASCAR, back when a fastback 40 Ford was the standard. We timed the vast majority of our miles in the X4 M40i, the top-level variation impelled by BMW's turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six, with the side trip in the xDrive 30i turbocharged 2.0-liter four-banger. Both are outfitted with standard all-wheel drive and an 8-speed programmed transmission. These two are the main contributions for the United States. However, Spartanburg, America's greatest car exporter by a wide edge, likewise assembles X4s with the less amazing 2.0-liter in addition to 4 diesel powertrains for different markets. For all our groaning over silly American customers grasping hybrid cars, the organization really trades eightfold the number of X4s as it sells here. We hear that Russians purchase a great deal of them, like the X3, X5, X6, and up-and-coming X7. All X4s are worked at Spartanburg for overall dissemination. Or maybe, these hybrids were altogether worked here up to this point, when interest for the X3 in China got so high that BMW opened another industrial facility there, just as retooling a plant in South Africa to deliver the X3. In any case, U.S. constructed German vehicles for Chinese and Russian customers. For the individuals who recall the 1980s, this is all more unusual than an AMC Eagle SX/4. More sportified. The X4 M40i won't go into creation until August, a few months after the lesser models. Outfitted with the heavy 355 horsepower Turbo 6, it's the most sweltering form until foreseen in with no reservations X4M touches base to take on the Mercedes-AMG GLC 63 Roadster and the Macan Turbo. When we tried a 2017 original X4 M40i with a comparative powertrain, it got to 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds. BMW cases to have pared around 110 pounds off the enhanced money's mass, referring to increasingly broad utilization of aluminum and high-quality steels, so the organization's gauge that the 2019 will do it in 4.6 looks preservationist. Dispatch control is standard on the M40i. BMW's inline-6 and the natural 8-speed program go together like pulled pork and collard greens, and this drivetrain never baffles. While conveying the products, the 6 additionally sounds about as melodic as it does in a genuine games car. State, the M240i, just somewhat less serious, a mezzo-piano impact inferable more to the tuning of the enlarged sound improvement than to any adjustment in the motor itself. The gearbox works admirably of choosing and holding the correct apparatus in most any condition, yet the move paddles are dependably primed and ready when the driver looks for somewhat more contribution. In any case, downshifts and throttle lifts are compensated with the popping reverse discharge through the trapezoidal tailpipes that is no less engaging for being carefully empowered. So, the ordinary hybrid driver may be all around served sparing $10,000 by picking the 4-chamber. In city cruising, it is sound more than responsiveness that isolates the two. The Turbo 4 conveys 248 pull and scuds of low RPM to work through the equivalent amazing drivetrain. Abetted by forceful throttle hairpin, the X-Drive 30i feels about as brisk as the 6 while quickening in rush hour gridlock, at the same time producing a quieted and throaty note. BMW claims a 6.0-second 0 to 60 mph time with the Turbo 4, we recorded 6.2 for the heavier X3 variant. You can discover a hint of turbo slack by demanding the wrong apparatus, yet give the transmission its head and it'll limit even that stress, making the passage level X4 more bunny than tortoise. Nor is there anything reptilian about any X4's attitude when the streets get twisty. We've as of now tried and lauded the driving elements of the most recent X3. The X4 shares the unbending skeleton and generally speaking refined conduct of its stage mate while honing the dealing with. Both the standard regular suspension and the discretionary versatile M variant are tuned with firmer springs, dampers, and hostile-to-move bars than in proportionals. BMW additionally says its weight decrease endeavors incorporated a great deal of work on shaving unsprung mass in the suspension, which on initial introduction successfully counters an essential grumbling about the past model, a hard ride over harsh asphalt. The most exceedingly awful street surfaces we could discover in the Carolinas would scarcely warrant that portrayal close to our Midwestern command post, so we'll save last judgment until we get the opportunity to complete a full test. In any case, We were urged to find that in Sport Plus mode on the M40i's discretionary 20-inch wheels. 19s are standard and 21s are accessible. The ride was never shaking, the suspension keeping the tires solidly planted notwithstanding when we connected the throttle mid-turn on uneven blacktop. The M40i's electrically helped variable games guiding framework is tuned with somewhat more heave in the ordinary comfort driving mode. The specialist salute to hand-to-work adjusted to the more powerful execution versus the X3, with proportionate upticks as you travel through Sport and Sport Plus. Adding exertion to the guiding doesn't bring any extra feel for the street, yet we prefer the feeling of better control in Sport over comfort mode in the mountains. The M40i has standard M Sport brakes with a bigger race barrel and blue-painted calipers. Autos so prepared had a firmer, all the more effectively regulated pedal, much refreshing in mountain driving. We should take note of that a reliable shortcoming of the past stage X3/X4 was anomalous long ceasing separations in our track tests. This was valid, still, of the X3 xDrive 30i we tried most as of late, yet the X3 M40i turned in an unquestionably progressively aggressive execution with the M Sport plugs and Pirelli P0 run flat summer tires. The sorts of drivers who'd pick the M40i over the xDrive 30i for its motor may likewise welcome the standard M Sport back differential. While it's hard to envision even the bad to the bone selecting to take a X4 on the track, that was the place we could most adequately, and securely, test its electronically controlled bolting capacity. In the standard driving modes, the differential carries on ordinarily. Utilize the DSC change to kill dependability control and the differential turns out to be increasingly dynamic, helping turn accordingly. Killing DSC into what is adequately a track mode, completely actuates the diff lock and truly jump-starts the vehicle out of corners while liberating the driver to initiate control over steer. BMW even wet down a skid pad to show that the X4 can be prodded into a float, in spite of the fact that this activity would have been no less trivial and undeniably all the more engaging in one of the M4 Roadsters sitting.